The three E's: evolve, elevate, empower. When you evolve, you're shedding to shift. You don't evolve in comfort. You evolve when comfort starts choking you. You evolve when the very life you built with your bare hands stops feeling like it fits and it starts feeling like it's swallowing you whole. You evolve when your spirit gets louder than your survival script. When your inner compass starts pointing due north and your external habits still hurts more than the risk of moving forward. This is not about spiritual hashtags or any trauma quotes that sound good in pastel. This is about having a breakdown. This is about the one night you know the one where the tears hit your shirt like they had a destination. That kind of grief that don't even make sound at first. Just heat rising up from your body and your heart beating like it's trying to remind you it's still there. The first tear you didn't wipe away too fast. That's the beginning. That's when it starts. Welcome to Blended Healing. We're not talking about the kind that fits into a reel, not the version that ends with a filter and a soft smile. I'm talking about the real version, the sit on the edge of your bed with your elbows on your knees, your head in your hands, and your thoughts pacing like everything. They looking, you looking for the nearest exit. The version where your skin feels tight, your routine feels fake, and your connections feel like stretch marks on something that used to fit but don't anymore. It's in that moment when your lungs feel like they forgot how to take in a full breath. Not because the air isn't there, but because your life been, the life that you've been living ain't yours. It's shallow breath, living, shallow conversations, shallow decisions made just to get by. That's when your soul speaks loud, clear, tired, unapologetic. It says, this ain't home. These people don't see me. This silence is not peace. This routine is not joy. This life, this version of me is borrowed. Right there, before you even know what's next, is when the shedding starts. And if you keep it 1,000, shedding is not something that looks pretty. It doesn't come with a soundtrack. It comes with real life withdrawal from people, from habits, from labels you wore like they were stitched to your skin. You stop acting in roles that were handed to you like hand-me-downs. You stop carrying the weight of everybody else's expectations like they pay your rent. You stop pretending that certain rooms fill you when they only deplete you. You start listening to your body in a new way, not just aches and pains. I'm talking about how your chest gets tight around certain people, how your stomach drops before you walk into certain buildings, how you feel relieved, not sad. When that call goes unanswered, that's wisdom. That spirit saying enough. You start hearing your own voice again, clearer than it's ever been. not the version of your voice that softens to avoid conflict or edits itself for comfort. No, the real one. The one that says what it means. The one that doesn't care how it lands because it knows it came from a place of truth. This time, you don't silence it just to make everybody else okay. You let it ring, even if it means shaking a few tables, even if it means people start backing away from you. That's the cost of growth. This time, are you ready to pay it? Evolution is war. Not with others, but with the version of you that made peace with things that disrespected your value. It's war with the part of you that clung to being liked, even if it meant being lost. It's war with self-sacrificing, people-pleasing. I'm fine. Part of you that died a little every time you said yes when you meant no. You start noticing the patterns, the betrayals you call love, the obligations you confuse for loyalty, that one-sided relationship that ran off your energy like it was free Wi-Fi. You get honest with yourself about the times you overextended for people who wouldn't even stretch for you. Then comes the shift. It doesn't explode. It creeps in. Quiet, clean, surgical. You stop explaining your growth. You stop translating your transformation to people who benefited from your silence. You don't need anyone to understand your evolution, especially not the people who only knew you as their emotional crutch. You don't write long paragraphs anymore. You don't beg for people to stay. You stop hosting versions of yourself that kept other people comfortable. You clean house. But I know we's loud. Sometimes the loudest shift is in your absence. You become unavailable, not in rudeness, but in self-respect. You ghost the expectations, you block the guilt, you leave events early and don't explain why. You skip the calls, you unsubscribe from the dynamics that only survive on your discomfort. You don't even need closure. Closure means you still want the conversation. Evolution don't. Evolution says, we done here. And another thing, let's get this straight. Evolution isn't about becoming someone new. It's not about starting over as a blank canvas. It's about excavating. It's about meeting the version of yourself that got buried under conditioning, survival instincts, generational wounds, cultural obligations, and a lifetime of being told what's acceptable. You meet her, you meet him, you say, where you been? And they look back at you and say, I've been here waiting for you to get fed up. So you confront yourself fully. You stand in front of the mirror without deflection. You look at your reflection dead in the eye and say, we not doing that no more. And you mean it this time. Not like before when you said it in hopes someone would prove you wrong. This time, you walk it. Even if your legs feel a little wobbly. Even if your voice is tired, even if nobody claps, because the shift don't start when others approve. It starts when you stop betraying yourself. You start doing for what you've done for everybody else, holding space, listening deeply, protecting time. You stop putting yourself last on your own list. You stop rewarding inconsistency. You stop answering calls that cost your peace. You move different, not louder, not meaner, just clearer. And that clarity becomes the backbone of your evolution. You walk away from expired love, even if it still feels familiar. Even if there's no new love waiting in the wings, you walk away because you know it's no longer aligned with where you're going. You stop rereading chapters, trying to find a better ending. You let the book close. You let the people go. You let the memory rest. You stop acting like grief is some type of ritual. You start living healing like a practice. You no longer wait for the world to validate your transformation. You let your boundaries do the talking. You let your glow be felt, not explained. You recognize when your smile is a lie. And instead of faking it, you sit with it. You replace the performance with presence. You replace the pain with process. You don't rush to be over it. You allow it to teach you. You let the grief wash over you like a storm, not because you love the chaos, but because you're finally brave enough to feel everything you once known. And that's how you evolve. Not by becoming more likable, more polished, or more honest. You got to be honest with your pain, your patterns, and what no longer fits. Evolution isn't a glow up. It's a stripping down. It's raw. It's rough. It's real, but it's yours. And once you start shedding, you don't stop. You keep removing every mask, every expectation, every agreement that made you feel less than. You keep walking through discomfort, through loneliness, through confusion until you finally feel that first deep breath in your chest again. That kind that don't come with anxiety. The kind that says, we back. That's when you know you made it. Not a destination, but to yourself. Fully, finally, evolve. Ashe? All right. I'll be right back after this.
You're tuned in to Lady K's Lounge, where soul speaks first. Hey, yeah. She don't need to announce her presence, she just steps in, and the room remembers who she is. This is Lady K. Her crown don't slip, with attitude and ease. Oh, she don't walk, she glides through smoke and prayers. Velvet nights and hair heavy with stares. Queen of the hush, she don't need no sound. You feel her presence before she's around. She's thunder and silk, a stone with grace. Lighting candles just by showing face. Glowing in her space. Lady K, your crown don't slip, even when the world tries to make you trip. Lady K, your fire don't fade. You were born a star.
Welcome back. Please like, share, and subscribe to Lady K. Wonderful music over there from our sis over there in the Memphis sector. Where am I? Honorary member. Gratitude to the whole Memphis sector. If you don't know, our queen, Transparent Talk, is back in these YouTube streets, baby. Make sure that you subscribe and go over there and check out TT. Ashe. We're elevating from the raw to the reverence. You see, elevation don't come with an audience. It don't tap you on the shoulder with a banner or a speech. It comes quiet. It comes personal. Sometimes it shows up when your phone goes cold and when the group chats feel foreign and when you realize some people only kept you around because you didn't know how powerful you were. You start seeing it how they clapped when you were confused but got distant when you got clear. You thought you had a tribe, but what you had was a trauma bomb. You think you had love, but you had was shared chaos. And when you finally start choosing peace over participation, that's when the shift happens. You elevate when you stop bending just to keep everything around. You don't want them around you breaking. When your priorities change, right? From who's going to be upset to what does my spirit need? When you stop saying yes with your mouth while your body says no. When your yes and no stop sounding like whispers and start moving like instructions. You begin to feel the difference between weight and worth. All the invisible labor you were doing to be liked. That starts to feel heavy in a way you can't carry anymore. So you put it down. You lay the roles down. You put the mask on the shelf. You let the people who only knew how to reach you when you were down and find someone else to drain. You feel me? You stop translating your soul into places that are flexible, that just want sound bites. You stop explaining your glow to people who dim on purpose. You realize that not everyone is meant to go with you, and not everyone was clapping for you in the first place. Some were just entertained by the mess. Just if you keep it 100. Some only felt tall next to your confusion. But now you choose clarity. Now you choose simplicity. And the biggest part, you now choose you. You see, elevation shows up in how you move now. You start deleting the thread instead of rereading it. You start watching the phone ring and letting it go unanswered without guilt. You block not out of hate, but out of necessity, out of protection. You turn off your notifications and turn up your intention. You stop showing up where you're only being tolerated and not celebrated. You start loving the quiet because now it feels like oxygen instead of exile. You wake up yourself and find that laughter has finally returned. not the polite little chuckle you gave to blend in. I'm talking about that deep belly laughter that rises from your chest like freedom. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're no longer contorting yourself to fit into a room you outgrew 5 exits ago. Uh, okay. Let's keep it a buck. It gets lonely. Real lonely. But it's not empty. Don't let people confuse the two. When you elevate, you lose people, but you find your space. Space to hear yourself, feel your own heartbeat again. You lose the noise, but gain the rhythm. You lose the distraction, but gain direction. You lose that daggone chaos, but gain communion with your own damn soul. Nobody tells you how disorientating it is to grow. You're all over the place, all over the place. To rise, to step into your own shoes without apology. It's a process, baby. To move without the echo chamber. It's quiet, it's still, but in that stillness you build. You start forming new habits, not ones driven by shame or productivity, but by love. You start waking up without regret. You start your mornings in peace, not rushing, not explaining, not calculating who you need to be today. Like you just flip a wheel whew, and say, let's see where it lands. Up, I'm this person today. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Mm-mm. You move slow. You brew your coffee in silence. You play your music that matches your new vibration. You stop rushing your mornings like you're being chased. You don't owe that version of life anything anymore. You start building a new rhythm, one that respects your nervous system, one that don't make you go, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Like the heebie-jeebies and stuff. You stop oversharing to feel close. You stop throwing lifelines to people who let you drown before. Your new routine, it's joy that don't need to perform. It's softness that don't make you feel weak. It's discipline that blesses you back instead of draining you dry. That's the routine builds. So does your spine. So does your posture, your peace. You stop folding when tension walks in a room. You stand in your truth, not shaking, not second guessing, just steady. Even if your voice cracks, your energy won't. You've built that muscle now. You go to bed proud, not because you did everything right, but because you stayed aligned. You didn't betray your body. You didn't betray your spirit. You didn't give in to the guilt. You didn't self abandon just to keep the peace. You no longer negotiate your peace like it's optional. You don't lend out your boundaries for the sake of the vibe. You don't rearrange your integrity to keep a relationship. You don't throw yourself under the bus to avoid conflict. You've made peace with disappointing others, if it means staying true to yourself. Walk out the rooms that make you feel like you gotta tuck your soul in. When you walk into rooms that don't ask for you to be edited, and if they do, you better run, Forrest, run, because that's evolution. Not that old floaty, ethereal kind, the grounded kind, the real kind, the kind that roots you, that centers you, that humbles you and affirms you all at the same damn time. You don't float, you stand. And when you stand, you don't lean on anyone else's opinion. You don't rely on anybody's applause. You don't measure your worth by proximity or praise. You just know. You just be. And that's the thing they can't touch. You're not up for the debate anymore. You're not a mirror for somebody else's insecurity. You're not a backup plan or a dancer, for that matter. A convenience, a placeholder. Daggone it. You here, clear, whole, unfolded. And that's what elevation really feels like. Not loud, not dramatic, not performative. Just presence. Just peace. Just you. Standing in your skin. Finally breathing for real, for real, for real. You know, the you that don't need permission. You are the permission. And now you move like it. Ashe? All right. I'm going to stop here. The next time we come back, we're going to be talking about the fire that never left. All right? Okay. Listen, be a great day. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to all of the content creators in this chat. Make sure that you give them their flowers as they return flowers onto you. I love y'all. Y'all got to be the coolest people up in here, you know what I mean? All right. Thank you for supporting me. Appreciate ya. Me love you a long time. And I will see you all very, very soon. Be safe out there in them streets. Streets are a little rough right now. Protect your neck. All right.
Mixed with the pain, prayers with the grind. Trauma in my DNA, but I still realign. Roots in the dirt, spirit in the ceiling. This ain't just therapy, this that blended healing. Concrete rose, yeah, I bloomed through the feeling. Tapped in the truth in these healing realms. Stitching my soul in them blended healing realms. Bless her. From the stoop to the shrine, I've been earning my life. Didn't pray for a savior, had to learn how to fight. Burning sage like incense, but my spirit don't fold. Still got pain in my pocket and this mic I hold. I ain't soft, I'm sacred, that's strength in disguise. Eye to eye with my demons, I ain't blinking this time. Broke every curse that was signed in my blood. Now I dance in the storm, make a waltz out the mud. Meditating in chaos, peace in the noise. Built a temple from trauma, turn my cries into voice. Crystals in my hoodie, cards in my through the Psalms.
Whispers in the wind say keep going. My past ain't changed, it's gold, I'm growing. Every wound is a prayer in disguise. I bleed true and I rise.
I mix sage with the pain, prayers with the grind. Still drama in my DNA, but I still realign. Every roots in the dirt, spirit in the ceiling. This ain't just therapy, this that blended healing. Concrete rose, yeah, I bloom through the feeling. Tapped in the truth in these healing realms. Stitching my soul in the blended